Today's topic of our panel is new education for new economy. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, dear speakers, for investing your time. And we have great speakers today representing sectors developing human capital and practitioners in the field. Botir Arifdjanov, founder of Astrum IT Academy, Uzbekistan. Muzaffar Djalalov, Rector of Inha University in Tashkent. Farzom Hamdamov, Partnership Lead in Ilmhona Skills Accelerator, Tajikistan. Dear Muzaffar, I would like to start the first question. I would like to start with you. Could you please tell us how the Inha University became the most innovative university in Uzbekistan?
Thank you very much, Aida, dear speakers. First of all, thank you very much for invitation. This week is a very interesting and busy week for all of us because of this ICT week is being held first time in Samarkand, and ever first time this big organized, I think, after this like post-pandemic period. So, and about Inha University in Tashkent, this university is established in 2014 with the main counterpartner is Inha University in Korea. It's the first, and it's non-government university, the main part. I will start with the key parts, and we have a royalty agreement with Inha University. It's not a branch. We have an agreement about the admission, that all these, for example, admission, starting from admission and the academic program, and all are carried by Inha University. Uzbekistan side is not in charge of educational process. I'm only a kind of operational manager. I have two vice rectors from Korea. One is for academic affairs, and second is for external affairs. And I have third vice rector for youth affairs, who from Uzbekistan. And another, I think, point is all education process is done by English language. And professors are mostly about 90% are from Korea. This is another key point. For example, professors are not only just professors. For example, my one vice rector is from Korea, Inha University, but he graduated from MIT, for example. They are not, and with huge experience. So another part is we have very strict rules about education. For example, plagiarism is very tough. We don't allow in the essays, even in the coding, which is, I think now is a big catastrophe among youth, that they use sometimes to copy the codes. They don't do their own. So we teach them from first grade how to code and then how to be more innovative and creative. So another point is we are very strict in the lectures. All lectures, the classes are mandatory. You cannot skip them. You must attend. You have some points and scores for attendance. I'm sorry. Because some international university in Uzbekistan, it's kind of free attendance. You don't have to attend the university. But in our case, it's like this. And in the exit, not 100% students graduate. Maybe 50%, 55%. Others, they just leave for next years because we have very severe midterm and final exams. Even during the academic years, students are studying for very late times, and they have to spend most of their lives in university because the admission is very severe, and the academic process, this education is very tough, and there is no retakes. You have only one chance So one opportunity. So it's from song. And if you lose this chance, you got F. I mean, students, they really do their best in order to not to fail, because the other years they have, for example, another more severe and more hard subjects that they don't want to miss their current semester subjects. So otherwise, usually they take some, how to say, some academic leave or something for 1 year or 1 semester. So, and another, I think, success story is our professors, they do their curriculum by themselves. We don't involve there, we don't, I mean, Korean side even, they do not involve, they do not control, they don't have that standards, usually have some our local universities, even how to write even some small papers, very big documentation, and we don't involve our professors to operational process or some government process. That's a very important part, because the professors only do their job teaching. If you look at the local universities, poor professors sometimes involve some other works, especially some bureaucratic works as well. We don't do that. If I take some professor from lecture or even one student, probably Korean side will cut off my head, because they're very severe about discipline and about devotion there to work. So, and especially professors, even we have a local professors, they are very experienced, even they have all PhD. I mean, we have strict rules for professors. They must have PhD abroad, not in Uzbekistan. So, and we have a very good system in the end of semester. We have an evaluation system by students. They evaluate professors, and they give a feedback, both anonymously sometimes we do among, and of course every semester we have a strict monitoring from Korea. So you see how many, there are so many stages of control, and this kind of system are made, but I think it's a very few, I don't know any other university has a very few, in one hand you can count in Uzbekistan universities, I'm talking about international universities I'm talking about. So they have maybe created and implemented such system in their university, because still even international university in Uzbekistan, their Uzbek side is still involved. That's the, I think, catastrophic side. Uzbek side should not be involved. If you have a foreign partner, you should trust your foreign partner, and of course sometimes you should check them, like monitor or double check, but not kind of tell them what to do. They know already what to do, and then I think, and of course in the end our students, they receive the international diplomas. So I think this is the shortly. I'm sorry to be maybe some long.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
this is an amazing experience, and in this term I also have another question. What do you think if students are comfortable with such a kind of Eastern mode of education? So you said that the attrition is like 50%. So.
No, of course they're not happy. They blame me, blame administration sometimes that we're too strict. But they do understand that the way of success is only through all this hard work, and we don't have other like excuses. Even sick, they can take maybe some leave, but. For example, our financial problems, they also can take, we can help with some bank loans. We have some agreements with some banks, so they provide some loans. But still, from this year, very good chance to our local students that government provide government scholarships. Yeah, this is the first time from this year. For example, we have for admission quota around 420, but we own university, some scholarships were about 30, but the government gave 100 more. So we have now 130 scholarships from this year. It's a very good chance for students who are talented but don't have financial opportunities. So I think it's very good.
Okay, did you contribute to this fact that the government gave these grants? So what was the work done maybe by you or your team members to get such a privilege and investments from the government side?
I think that the first is the trust. I think everybody see what kind of results we are doing, and university is 100% corruption free. All is horizontal and vertical. You can see, and in admission, in the academic, and other operational process, we have this in ISO and other certificate. All this checking every year, and our products are our students. And if students cannot find a job, it means that something is wrong with education in that university. And if our students finding their job from second year, and sometimes they are leaving, finding job, that they are fine with this $5,000 per month, and they don't want to study because they have no time, and they gained enough knowledge. But all our graduates, they very successful in finding they mostly don't go to government, mostly go to some international companies, even in Uzbekistan, or banks. We're paid now some better than in government. So that's why maybe the government is trying to interest students like this. I mean, because this government scholarship, they have some, they have to work after graduation for around 3 years at government sector.
Yes. This is like 2 years less than in our country. Okay, and in this term, I'm sorry that I'm asking too much questions, but I need to maybe tell the guest that Muzaffar has limited in time, and maybe he will leave us earlier.
Yeah.
So, but
okay.
Still, we will be happy to see you more here. Okay, if you told that there are other universities, of course, we know that in Uzbekistan, very good education in general. Did they request to share the experience of Inha University? Did they request it to maybe to visit your university and get some points to implement in their universities? Could you please share this information?
Well, yeah, well, from one side, sometimes universities come, even local. They're too arrogant to come, but sometimes because we are a very young university, not big, we have only 1,700 students, but these universities, other local, are 50 years, 100 years, and but the quality is very low, but not always they have some will to learn something new, I think. So, but we have sometimes some visitors request, even local university requests our LMS system or some curriculum. They are very interested to learn, and then sometimes they visit to see our infrastructure, but not more. We sometimes hold some education forums to talk about our academic credit model system or our this digitalization process, how we done, or and we sometimes share our experience during this kind of workshops, but that's not so much big interest from other universities.
Thank you very much, Muzaffar. And in this term also, I have a question to Botir. You created the academy, I guess, to bridge the gap between the university and the future of the students in the work professional life, yes? Could you please share the information? How did you create this academy? What is the success story?
Yeah, sure, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting for this event. First, one disclaimer, I have nothing to do in past with education. I'm not a professional educator on my own. I came to this industry because I had to, because we're coming from the IT industry, and at some point we started to see the huge shortage of the software engineers in our companies. We tried to hire from the local market. The prices were going up because of the shortage of the supply, and we tried to educate internally. That was not scalable, and we thought there should be some solution so we can do not only for ourselves but in general to the market as well. That's how we come up with a solution to start the IT Academy. But biggest bottleneck when we started looking into the experience of other academies in the market, we have realized that the biggest bottleneck is a teacher. So the reason is that, as you know, the software engineer currently is the only guy who can become as a lecturer during the software engineering course. So basically, he's the person who is providing the lecture on this should understand what he's talking about. Which already implies that he's good software engineer on his own. Whereas the salaries of the software engineer is quite high and very attractive. So you cannot keep up with this pressure coming from the market. And we've been looking for solutions which doesn't put us in dependency to the teachers. So it was like kind of challenging option to look for. But thanks God we found the solution. We found the approach which is called School 42. So that was based on a concept of the peer-to-peer and AI-enabled educating platform where all the process of education is based on students trying to share the knowledge and trying to educate each other. At the same time, there is a very sophisticated platform which keeps on giving tasks to the students. And besides just sharing the task, it can also monitor the correctness of the code the student is writing. We have algorithm of anti-plagiarism installed in the platform. So anytime they write something which the system can detect it was already done by someone else in the class or in the group, it can easily detect and can spot it, and the students are penalized for that, so they try not to do that. So the system is quite smart and it's very much scalable. Despite we just launched only less than a year ago, we have more than 2,000 students now. Probably by size we are the biggest in Central Asia now, and we keep on growing, and probably in a year down the line we will be reaching about 3,000 students next year. I mean, not this next year. And we don't want to limit ourselves to. We're located next to Tashkent. We're just on the outskirts of the Tashkent. We don't want to limit ourselves to one campus, because we have a huge support from the Ministry of IT, from the President of the country. They have visited us several times. They like the concept and they see the result. A lot of positivity about it. And we have been provided the offer from the government to run public-private partnership in the different regions, so we can launch our branches in other regions. So probably next couple of years we'll open several branches in other regions of Uzbekistan, and maybe not only in Uzbekistan as well. So that's what we are.
Thank you very much. That's impressive. And you told that the idea of the academy was based on the demand, your personal demand, the company demand. So did you cover this demand? So how the market changed now?
Unfortunately, no, not yet at least, because as for recently, we launched another IT company, relaunched another IT company, and we aggressively hiring for that company. For the past a year or so, we hired about close to 100 software engineers, and most of them, we don't have any so far hiree from our academy yet, because we don't have students who finished the academy, because we are then less than 1 year old. So we end up having a lot of hirees from the local, but there are, there was already 2 waves of the migrants from Russia and other countries to Uzbekistan, and we are blessed with that, and we have access to huge number of, I shouldn't say that blessed because it's not something we should be happy of, but the situation is what we have. So in terms of the market, it is contributing to the sourcing the market for better and higher level software engineers, and this is a good support for guys who have to leave their country and come here, because we are providing them immediately the job and also trying to feel home here.
And thank you. Also, I have a question. Do you feel that the academy is doing its job and it is good for the market of Uzbekistan, and the reforms or other ideas need to be brought on the level of the government? Do you communicate with the government? Maybe you are raising some questions about this spread. You told that you had some communication to open some branches all over Uzbekistan. How did you come to this?
You said that the reason for opening the academy is not only our company need for IT specialist. That's also need coming from the market, but also there is other side of the issue is that the higher education system of Uzbekistan was not developing for many years, and currently I can tell you that only close to 20%, right? The admission rate of to university. Sorry, 27. Yeah. So we have. You can imagine we have around 700 to 800,000 kids graduating from schools every year, and every year about 1.2 to 1.5 million kids try to go to universities. Only 27% of them end up being at university. The rest is still end up in the streets. So, I mean, like the streets. They go try to look for a job. That's a huge base for all the migrant workers we have in Russia. It doesn't mean that those kids are not smart. That they just don't have ability, or they don't have a place to go and study. So, I guess the platform what we have built, one of the aims we have for ourselves is to create some sustainable mechanism to bring those kids to the market in a large scale. So imagine if we launch one platform in Tashkent campus is about 3,000 students, and we have another, like, let's say 5 down the 3 years, each of them, let's say 1,000. So combined, we will be close to 8,000 students graduating from our platform annually. Yeah, but this is a drop in the ocean still, and it's nothing. Yeah, millions are still there, and there should be more than. So whenever someone comes and says, "Hey, we are putting the academy, but don't worry, we're not competing with you," I say, like, I will welcome you. I would want to support and help and explain to you what to do so you can grow rapidly and faster, because market is so enormous, so we don't see, not only compete, but we don't even see each other in a distance for next 5 years down the line. So that's what we're working on, and I guess there is a huge challenges in front we have, because not only higher education, but school education was suffering of the quality as well. Now, what we are seeing now, there are a lot of youngsters coming to our academy. They want to study very advanced things like AI, software engineering, or going into the very sophisticated areas of the programming. But one of the big things they are lacking is they are lacking mathematics skills, some foundation-based knowledge. That's a huge challenge, and to address that, we started in our academy to provide the math classes and we're trying to help the kids to learn basics of math. So without that, they cannot continue to AI and more advanced things which we're trying to teach in our academy.
Thank you very much. I am wishing a good luck to you and your competitors to be really successful in this situation. Dear Farzom, actually, maybe your company started its own way also because of the needs in your country. Could you please share your experience? What was the idea of creating such school?
Да, добрый вечер. Спасибо, Аида. Да, надеюсь, вы не устали. Хочу воспользоваться случаем поблагодарить организаторов за отличную организацию мероприятия. Да, мы являемся акселератором навыков Ilmhona. Мы являемся IT-школой, обучаем программистов. К нам может прийти любой желающий, да, и с нуля стать разработчиком. И действительно, да, была нужда в разработчиках. Мы уже существуем 4 года. И наряду с обучением мы также занимаемся популяризацией сферы IT в Таджикистане, наряду с другими IT-школами и даже в коллаборации с ними. Мы продвигаем эту сферу, мы видим уже большие шаги. То есть если сравнивать с тем, что было несколько лет назад, то сейчас, конечно же, уже молодое поколение само начинает приходить в эту сферу. Да, и в этом нам помогают также наши новые методы, новые подходы к обучению. Мы, например, очень гибкие в плане программы. Мы понимаем, что сфера, да, IT, она очень быстро меняется. И поэтому, да, например, если наш курс длится в среднем 3 месяца, мы после каждого потока анализируем, что могли бы изменить, добавить и улучшить. И в этом нам, конечно, помогают наши инструкторы, которые являются уже, скажем, действующими разработчиками, которые уже неоднократно пережили эти изменения, которые уже не раз адаптировались и могут этот опыт передать. У нас вообще много разных методов и подходов. Наши вообще глобальные миссии, да, что мы хотим, это вдохновлять и трансформировать молодое поколение в сфере тег. Здесь также могут быть и другие наши методы. Например, мы хотим, опять же, да, убрать этот разрыв между тем, кого хотят нанимать компании, и те, кто к ним приходит. Мы постоянно находимся с ними на связи. Раз в несколько месяцев мы пишем им и узнаем, какие технологии они используют, какие изменения у них произошли. И то есть мы пошли от обратного, то есть мы сначала узнаем у работодателей, чего они хотят, а потом уже, исходя из этого, мы готовим программу и готовим наших, получается, студентов.
Could you please tell us how many IT schools there are in Tajikistan market? Сколько у вас школ?
Если взять крупные IT-школы, то, в принципе, их можно посчитать по пальцам руки. Их около 10. Сейчас тенденция хорошая, и их появляется все больше и больше. То есть это, опять же, на базе того, что в свое время начали появляться IT-школы, и сейчас, когда уже сфера продвинулась вперед, и когда уже у людей есть спрос, то начинают появляться новые IT-школы.
Спасибо большое. My next question, you told that there is a demand from the company side, so we think that this is anyway technological company, IT company, right? What do you think? What will be the contribution of the IT companies if they will train students based on their demands, on their requirements and the products they are working on? So, Muzaffar?
Okay, I think it's a normal process. It's already been done in many companies, many normal companies, I would say, because what I mean normal company is that company who is interested in training and retraining of their staff and of even the new staff. And even it's okay, I think, that they prepare for them their own employees, future employees, some kind of school or training center, it might be, some kind of non-degree programs. We are not talking about degree programs. It's kind of non-degree, some kind of training center. That is, for example, EPAM, I saw Andre, they have their own school that is preparing developers only for their demand, and based on that, experience they establishing in Uzbekistan established already this year. First IT university, kind of digital university, with 3 years program based on this EPAM's curriculum. They have their own curriculum. It's not some higher education, I wouldn't say. It's kind of more professional education.
June's preparation, maybe.
Yes, yes, and June's preparation, because what they've been told that the first year students, they learn some basics, because as Botir said, they struggle with mathematics. They have to know mathematics if they want to become the IT developers. And next years they are involved in some projects, because in order to increase their level from mid to senior, they in a way have to have some experience in the real project. I mean, theories doesn't give them much experience, I think.
Thank you.
I support this idea.
So actually, I have the same question to you, because I understand that Botir is saying that they are not competitors, but what do you think on this matter?
Yeah, we also work with all the companies Muzaffar just mentioned. We have a relationship with almost all the IT companies which relocated to Uzbekistan or are currently operating in the country. With most of them, we already signed memorandums of cooperation. They come and sometimes they provide some guest lectures, because all these companies, they understand that they look at us as a potentially the source of the newcomers to the working environment. So more closely they work with us, it's better for them to understand what kind of qualifications they can expect at the end of the study. So we also try to encourage them to work closely with us, because we tell them sometimes if you have some specific requirements towards our students, you can put them up front in advance, and we can come up with a tailor-made programs for you. Like, for example, there was a company from Japan. They came and requested for quite a number of PHP software developers. But PHP is not very much developed in our local market. So what we said, like, if you require, and we sign an agreement that you will meeting under certain requirements, will be definitely employing them. We will initiate the course, so we can teach the students for this code writing in more deeper and detailed, so you can have this June's more or less ready. So that's what kind of collaborations we're doing. For example, with Vion Group, the Beeline, we signed the agreement that they are helping us to teach our students some basics of AI. And we will be doing this in cooperation of accessing to the data sets, and they will be allowing our students, once they reach to the level to play with the data, they can just manipulate the data and come up with some solutions based on that.
Like a predictive method,
yes.
Yeah. Thank you. And what is the situation in Tajikistan? Actually, in Kazakhstan, we have like more than 50 IT schools. So, and now we are having the program. I just want to tell the short information that in Kazakhstan we have a great program, Tek Orda. So this is the financing of the IT schools for the preparation of IT specialists. And now to this program, the IT companies are joining also to cover their demands and prepare Junes. So, but this is also first year, and we don't really know how the project will be like moving on. But I mean, the expectations are very high. So, do you have some, I don't know, ideas like projects also in your country, like Tek Orda, for example?
Мы сотрудничаем с IT-сектором частным очень тесно, и, например, вообще у нас у самих есть система ESA, которую мы ввели первую в Таджикистане. Это система, позволяющая студенту не платить, пока он не трудоустроится. Поэтому практически, да, 85% наших студентов трудоустраиваются, что уже, в принципе, да, дает достаточно кадров, да, для базового заполнения, да, каких-то потребностей на рынке. Но при этом, если возникает какая-то потребность, у нас есть уже такая практика, что к нам обращается какая-либо компания с запросом, что она берет на себя покрытие расходов на курс, и мы обучаем этих людей для этой компании. То есть они через нас обучают для себя разработчиков. Либо же они приводят к нам своих разработчиков для повышения их квалификаций. При этом также у нас в Таджикистане набирают обороты создания академий при себе. То есть крупные компании также начинают открывать при себе небольшие академии для того, чтобы у себя готовить разработчиков.
Спасибо. Ну, да, на самом деле, то, что мы сейчас и практикуем, хотим, чтобы это у нас росло, чтобы было трудоустройство хорошее. So I have one more question to Muzaffar. Muzaffar, I mean, maybe I will be, how to say this? Okay, I don't remember the word. So you are from the representative of the Eastern culture in education. So, but we are talking daily that the IT education should be agile. So how these two works together?
Okay, a couple of hours ago, we had a panel session at ICT Week about IT education, how it should be integrated with higher education. So, and we were talking about does the IT specialist need to study 4 years at university to become a IT specialist, for example? Maybe sometimes it's enough to take some course and they can be good developers. And there was big discussion among rectors, and but of course it depends on your goal and wills, who you want to become, and because or a career. Anyway, you need diploma sometimes. But universities, especially IT universities, I think now is time to change. I think even for us. We even start thinking about blended learning because otherwise I think students will struggle and the universities will die like dinosaurs because it's already 4 years. It's classic. Yeah, it's a classic. It's for before 100 years, many years there was such classic, but now it's changing. University is not the only place where you can get the information and knowledge. So that's why or library, for example. But the important thing is community, and second is the professors when you have this, and of course your group teammates. There is a good practice started in Korea 2+2 program with industry, 2 years in university and 2 years in industry. Students, even after 2 years, they go to work and they continue studying at the same time, but they are doing their mostly assignments at work. I mean, and they are showing, for example, it should be related to the university if it's IT, and if you go to IT company and you're doing some assignments, and this is the way you close your, for example, credits, academic credits, one way. And another way is about blended learning. I mean, you may take some online lectures, but still you have to come and take the exams on-site, midterms or final exams. Still, they should be, but IT universities, I think that now, still there are some courses or lectures that cannot be provided online because it needs still interaction with students. So not everything can be transformed into online or blended. So I think this is the kind of partial transformation I see universities next years, 10 years I would say, because I'm talking about IT university. Maybe there are other universities like medical universities. We see how telemedicine is, for example, developing, and they are with these IT technologies, but especially again with blended or hybrid learning, they are now doing some new innovating in this teaching methodology. I think it's time to, to all universities to reconsider their teaching styles and moving from classic to more modern. I think this is my idea.
Thank you. Botir, my next question goes to you. So you are actually working in online. So the platform is online, but they are studying together. It's offline. Okay, nice. How do you think, what kind of reforms on the level of Uzbekistan you need to make the education really significant to make a really good contribution to the economy of the country?
Well, I guess so far the government was already taking a lot of initiatives in reforming the education, and especially higher IT education. Like take an example of EPAM launching the first online university. This is something unimaginable under the previous conditions, let's say, or the number of new universities opening in a country. So sometimes we cannot track already the number of the names. Like every other week, I can see the new signage of the university popping up in a street or in advertising, and so okay, there is a Nordic, there is a Chinese, there is a France, there is a Swiss, there is that, there is that. So it's booming because government understand there is a huge demand, and they are loosening a little bit control on getting these new players on the ground. I'm sure that time will come and they will look at this and the quality and everything when the selection process will be at the point. But I'm very much still with all respect to Muzaffar, he knows we're great friends, but still he knows what I think about universities. I think that in IT you don't require 100% knowledge and time you spend at university, because it's so much dynamic sector. So by the time the student finished the 4 years, he might forget what he started at the course 1. So I guess that the blended and the on-job combination kind of things which Muzaffar just described would be great addition to the classic way of education, and it's a way forward. We, in fact, at the Astrum have a plan to launch university on our own, not to compete, but to be partners with a lot of our colleagues in the market. But our approach probably will be something absolutely different from whatever is available, hopefully, in the market. But there is still potential to grow. And going back to your question, government shouldn't do something significantly new now. They should just keep the momentum and keep continuing the support they started to provide. So the market has to evolve to be in a shape. Before that, they shouldn't go with too much of regulation and the requirements on the quality. Otherwise, they can just ruin whatever has been growing so fast until now.
Thank you. I wish you a good luck with the university. And I'm sorry, I have one more additional question. Sorry. You said the idea of creation the university is very ambitious, and what it is based on. So it is based on the research, personal, just ambitions, or what is behind this idea?
What we're seeing now, we have a number of our students, when they come to us and they say, we dropped our university, currently they're a student of some university, but they drop out and they come to us and say, because what you're teaching us, it's more hands-on. That's what we want to do. But at the same time, we hear from the market requests for specialists, for IT specialists, which needs to be more advanced, more formalized. They don't need simply the coder, but they need someone who can manage group of coders, who can think in a more structured manner, so they can develop the process of product creation, so they can manage the whole cycle. They can go to the next level of the cybersecurity evolution, and etc. So that's what kind of things which are needed in the market. We still don't see the universities providing, at least to the full extent. So probably we'll be contributing from that standpoint, and we'll try to mix our hardcore programming skill students with some more theoretical and also some programmatic industry-based knowledge, so they can easily go and use these skills at workplace.
Nice, thank you very much. So, Farzom, could you please tell us how do you see the IT schools in Tajikistan in the perspective of 5 years? Please.
Да, даже учитывая то, что у нас 10 миллионов, половина нашего населения – это граждане младше 25 лет, поэтому эта сфера будет набирать обороты, и мы, например, сотрудничаем не только с частным сектором, но еще и с министерствами. Видим, как это очень сильно ускоряет развитие, и поэтому, если тенденции так и будут оставаться, то, конечно же, количество IT-школ будет увеличиваться, IT-школы будут разрастаться, и сфера будет еще больше привлекательна. Сейчас очень много бизнеса уходит в диджитал, да, очень много всего цифровизируется. В целом появляется еще больше потребностей, и где есть очень много потребностей, там наши, скажем, предприниматели видят возможность открываться, создавать возможности и условия для развития. Да, и в этом, конечно же, мы бы хотели сотрудничать. Вот, например, мы, Ilmhona, сейчас начали сотрудничать с IT-парком Узбекистана, с узбекскими компаниями, также хотим познакомиться с казахстанскими, да, чтобы в каком-то партнерстве это все продвигать, развивать, чтобы это все было не только, скажем, в каком-то закрытом вакууме, что вот мы у себя развиваем, вот все, как бы к нам не надо приходить. Нет, мы бы хотели делиться опытом, развиваться вместе и помогать друг другу, потому что если есть чем-то поделиться, это всегда будет полезно.
Круто, спасибо большое. If you have questions, you can ask, and we will wrap out our conversation, our session. Do you have questions? Okay, please.
Thank you. My name is Suhrob. I would like to ask Botir Arifdjanov. Is there any opportunity at your academy for example, people from some disadvantaged families, for example, scholarships or something like this? And I would like to ask about gender balance. What is the the situation about the gender balance, and what are the actions you are taking in this direction? Thank you.
That's a great question. We are trying to be as much affordable as possible in the market. So currently the tuition fee is one of the lowest in the market. Currently we're trying to monitor the market, and we should say we're one of the most affordable ones. And but still we have number of initiatives together with several institutions who are working together to support our students, like for example with Aloqa Bank and the Ministry of IT. We recently and the Agency for Youth, we recently launched the extension, not extension, it is like a credit, but the percentage of the credit will be covered by the government, by the youth agency. So in other words, the kid can come to study at our academy. The payment, it will be, he doesn't have to pay immediately. He has to finish. After he finishes, he starts to work, and he will just pay only amount of cost, not paying, even incurring any interest. That's one of the things we launched. That will be available for more than 5,000 students. Another thing is that in collaboration with USAID, this year we have conducted a project for educating 200 girls in IT. That was a joint initiative. 50% was financed by Astrum Academy, 50% by US government. So what we have done, we enabled 200 girls from mostly rural areas come and study the IT at our academy. So I'm a strong believer in women in IT, because I think that they are, how to say, they could do much more. because my companies, I have a couple of girls, they're doing great. So I believe if there is a proper environment and they're properly educated and they are given a chance, the girls have sometimes usually perform better. I can tell this openly to all my students. I tell them, look guys, with all respect, but the girls are better. They know me. I'm in this term, I'm IT feminist. But yeah. So, but at the same time, we still have a huge disbalance in IT of the girls. From general statistics over the world, is around, if it's around 10-15%. In Uzbekistan, probably it's below 5%. But in our academy, we are reaching to the level of 15 to 20%. So we are trying to keep it pushed forward. And also we are soon working with the couple of NGOs who are helping the disabled kids, with the physical disabled kids, to help them to, because we have all the environment, so they can easily come and commute inside. We have our shuttle bus coming from the city. They can come, commute, and come and study. We have a couple of students with wheelchair already studying without any support. They came by themselves. We have been surprised, and we trying to find and address those needs and help them.
Thank you.
Just on maybe a comment on gender balance in the IT profession. If you Google autistic spectrum and gender, you will discover that males are 4 times more likely to be on the autistic range than females. It's just a fact of life, and it's kind of it's a medical fact of life, and I think the IT profession to some extent requires a degree of autism. So men are kind of destined in a way to go into this kind of profession that doesn't require emotional intelligence, where they can simply sit in front of the computer and type. Yeah, unfortunately for men, I must say. Anyways, just wanted to really comment on the 2 different approaches that we of course observe in the IT training sphere. So we have this very rigorous 4-year, drilling. I should have asked you about a suicide rate, because Korea is famous for having one of the highest suicide rates. Yeah, this is, I hope. But you don't have to answer. And then we have the opposite approach, where we have this, let's say, it can be 6 months, by the way. That doesn't even have to be a full year of narrow, very hands-on, practical training. They serve very different purposes, and they're complements. They are really complements. And I think, like in the IT development field in general, and I spoke to our friend Abdu Kahor from Green and White. I mean, there's coding, and there is the much more sophisticated skill of building algorithms, designing AI systems, which require very sophisticated math. I mean, it's a lot of linear algebra. And you really, it's beyond what you can teach in 6 months, way beyond. So coding, yeah, you can do it quickly. You don't need a university degree. For something more fundamental, of course, it requires a lot of training, maybe starting from this young age. It was more of a comment, but of course.
Just to add what you said, we have a huge number of switchers now coming to our academy. So switchers who started like accountant or business analytics, who been doing something related to the numbers, but never did coding. So they have a huge potential of switching to the coding, because they have whole potential, but they don't have skills only. So we have this, and we are right spot for them for this.
There's one more thing I wanted to say, and I just forgot it. Very quick. My kids study in the French education system, so I've observed all the sciences, everything, and math, of course, is taught using IT. So it's not just teaching IT. You use IT combined with every single science you are taught in a school. You know, everything involves coding and programming, which is, I think, the way to go when it comes to basic education.
Thank you.
So actually the time is over. We had 50 minutes for the panel session. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this session. Thank you for sharing the SI experience, your insights, and I'm wishing you very, very good luck in the future.